So, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Great. So, why this book now, David? Tell us why.
I think it's not uncommon for some artists to reach middle age and find that the metaphors that they've been using for their lives just don't work anymore. And in my case, I was well past half a century and finding that I was still having dreams and behaving in certain ways that showed me very clearly that I was still a troubled young man. And I began to, this puzzled me because I have practically a perfect life. I have a wonderful marriage, I have a perfect career, something I love, work that I love, and yet these dreams were intruding on me and occasional outbursts of uneven behavior, I suppose you might say. And I wanted actually to have more psychoanalysis. I'd had 12 years of it when I was a kid, but I can't say that I can't call it really analysis. I didn't appreciate what I had then, and I was too young to really kind of learn the technique very well. But frankly, where we live, out on the edge of the prairie outside of Mendon, we were quite far away from that kind of help. And I realized that I was going to have to do it myself. So
did you think getting that all on paper, did it really help resolve any issues in your childhood, or, you know, can it really do that?
Well, first of all, I didn't get it out on paper. I tried for many, many years to write it as a prose piece, and I kept, because words are very difficult for me, or I should say, because it's the hardest thing in the world to make myself sit at a desk and finish a prose piece. I couldn't do it that way, and it was only until I realized that pictures are really my medium that it began to come to me in a really meaningful way. What was your question?
Did this resolve your childhood?
Did it resolve my childhood?
I mean, did it help resolve any issues you had in your childhood?
It took me straight back.
Can it really,
to
though? It took you straight, but do you think it really could, though?
Yes,
Do you? Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it took me back there in such a visceral way that I experienced it all over again. And that's, I guess, one of the things that psychoanalysis is supposed to do, is to let you relive it. Unfortunately, I didn't have an analyst sitting there to...
So, did you think it made a difference in how it came out on paper? I mean, what kind of, looking back, and how did that affect it coming on paper differently from creating pictures of, you know, girls with antlers?
Well, it was really me, and it was really my parents. I developed an interesting technique that I thought was unique, but it turns out people have used it in some therapy to bring things back, because I couldn't remember anything very clearly. I would try to remember at least one thing in a room. Like in our living room, I could remember the lampshade on the coffee table. And after I drew that, I suddenly could see the lamp under it, and then the table under that, and then the pattern of the rug, and then pretty soon the whole room came back to me. And once I had refurnished the rooms, the people came back, the ghosts came back and began repeating their actions, and I was able to observe it.